Hello, everybody out there. One more time. This is Dave of the Two Old Bucks. The less famous of the Two Old Bucks. The more famous will be here any second now.
Yeah,
Are
it's
you
old
there?
Buck Dell.
Buck
Old Buck
Dell.
Dell's with you.
Welcome back, old Buck Dell, for episode 113. We keep grinding on here, getting close to the end of the year. So how you doing, buddy?
Well,
I mean, really,
you
really,
mean,
how you doing? Not how you doing, but how you doing with COVID and all that sort of thing?
oh, you mean the sort of an update on that thing?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've turned the corner on that. Each day I have less congestion, and I did admit that I think I lost my taste somehow. Things started tasting.
You did
different,
mention that, yeah.
and how long that may be, but otherwise I will survive this this particular episode. And I'm just concerned that this is going to be maybe an annual event. Actually, I was concerned that there are so many bullets that I've dodged already. I have this funny.
Some of them were actually literal bullets over there in the land we can't talk about.
No, the danger things, the things that can happen to you in life, stuff you can get, and, where you could hurt yourself or something. Situations you could have been in where you're really you're injured for life.
Oh yeah.
So, but I'm thinking about this, and then there are people come up and say, so and so is turning 85 or whatever, and now they have this, and I don't know what makes me delude myself into thinking that I'm not.
You are delusional.
Yeah,
so you know.
Yeah. I don't know what makes me think that I am not up for any of that stuff. I mean, just because I don't have some, major intestinal disorder or something else. I mean, I've got enough little things now, but thinking, holy smokes, the longer you live, the more items on the wheel of maladies.
The more opportunities you get. Yeah. Oh, well.
I'm okay. I'm basically okay now. Good. My voice is reasonably back to normal and that kind of thing. So thanks for all the listeners that asked about me.
Yes. That was nice. That was encouraging. We got a lot of nice notes about you. I don't know why, but we did. Hey, speaking of, Letters From Afar, new notes we got from some of our listeners. We got some good thumbs up on our writing, our bot, our writing machine, the NFA. You remember what it was. I don't remember the name.
I do. What did you call that?
Chat bot, or
wasn't it just artificial intelligence?
Artificial, yeah. It was the company was OpenAI. Yeah, artificial intelligence.
Right.
It was pretty stunning, really, and it was free.
I was impressed.
Yeah, Ranger Rick really got into this. He and I went back and forth. He generated this story about. Now this is his story idea, not mine, folks. So
okay. Someone has submitted this idea.
Well, you know where to send the guys with the coats. He said, write a story about a donkey that bit its owner after overcoming the owner's attempt to bury it alive. Huh. You don't even know what to say.
Sounds like that. Sounds like our listener is he's got a sense of humor.
Yes, absolutely. And it's amazing. We generated a couple stories. We got a couple yucks out of it, and then he wrote some other stuff, and it was fun. It was a hoot.
Yeah.
We got another story. A listener from Normalville, because we did mention, we did a little thing about Normalville, and this listener said Normalville is a town straight from a Norman Rockwell painting. So I thought, why don't they call it Normanville then? But I don't know. Anyway.
Well, that's cute too. I mean, I thought it was a nice little story.
Yeah.
And the name implies that, really,
You're right. Yeah, that's right, listener. Yes.
Well, I have a couple more. Is there another letter there? I was going to say, that's what we want people to do is go ahead and write those things in. It gives us some chuckles, and
yeah, we got it. And we had a couple of short notes from people that said they loved the AI thing. One to another one said, talking about the fusion, the hydrogen fusion reaction, the first laboratory reaction that generated more energy than was put into it, and they thought it was cute when you thought I was making that up.
Well, I mean, the news media came in,
Well, you never
within
know what's
days,
fake news out around here.
and said, kind of proved your point there. But
We got
that's the,
another scoop we had. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm
mm,
sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
but that's the fun that we have this sort of like I call it horizon to horizon interests on things. So
Yeah.
you never know what we can bring to the table that
We don't even know.
maybe a little bit,
We don't even know.
unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, listen, I did a story of the day with your indulgence here. This was the machine did a story for you. I told the
Okay,
machine.
so you gave it a topic, and this could be something we could play with. Huh? Pick a
I
subject.
said to the machine, write a prose poem about gravity. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if I've discovered that if you say write a story, it always starts once upon a time, and then it becomes kind of a story. And I said, write a prose poem. So I thought this is actually more interesting. So let me read this to you.
Gravity.
Gravity. Gravity is a force that binds us all together. It is the force that is ever present, yet often overlooked. It is a force that keeps us grounded and yet allows us to reach for the stars. It is a force that can be both a blessing and a curse. It can keep us safe and secure, but can also be a hindrance when we want to explore the unknown. Gravity is a reminder that we are all connected. And no matter how far and that's where it ran out of steam.
Well, that's what
I thought that was a cute little paragraph.
I mean, this is what this machine does, right? It gives you just a bit.
Yeah,
Now, I have an opinion on gravity. I was telling you about.
Well, you have an opinion on just about everything.
Well, this is interesting that this machine has mentioned it can be a blessing and a curse, and we sometimes overlook it.
That's right. That's right. Just like a fish overlooks water, right? It just
just assumes
it's just
assumes everybody else is in water too, right?
It's so I can't imagine on water.
Well, let me say this: it was not long ago that yours truly was looking into his, I would say, rather large bathroom mirror. You know, one of them large bathroom mirrors over the sink. A lot of people have those.
I'm taking your word for it. I haven't been in your bathroom, but
no, but I mean, you probably have one in your bathroom.
Everybody's got a big sink in the bathroom. Yes,
and everybody has a mirror over that sink.
Right? A mirror over the sink.
Right. So with the proper lighting inside of the bathroom and everything, and let's say that's where in that case, that's where I would shave. So I'm looking in the mirror, and this person that I'm seeing looking back at me. So I said to myself, I took my hands. You got to picture this now.
I'm trying.
I'm looking in the mirror in the bathroom with there's plenty of light. It's mirror isn't fogged.
Okay.
And I'm looking and I'm taking my hands and I'm holding it up on my pectoral muscles.
Your pectoral muscles.
Yeah, my pectoral, my pecs.
Your pectorals. Okay. I thought these were your reading muscles. Those would be your eyes. No.
So I got my hands there and I'm holding them. I said, huh.
You're holding them.
I'm sort of pushing up on my pectoral muscles. I said,
this is like almost an erotic photograph here, but
no. So then I take my hands away, and all of a sudden, these what used to be pec muscles begin to droop, and I'm standing back and I'm looking. I'm saying, I wonder if all this would go away if we didn't have to deal with gravity, and then. And then, dare I say, you should stand back any further in front of a full-length mirror and see what gravity really does to you. There are people right now that's probably putting their hands over their ears.
Oh man!
But I believe that I was wondering now, what happens if if there wasn't gravity, and what happens to these folks that maybe spend a year or so in space without that pulling on them, without that if it changes their physical appearance and everything. That's probably a good question for the Smithsonian magazine or something. I don't know.
Well, actually, they grow in space because gravity's not smashing down on their spinal column.
So lengthwise, they can get a little bit longer. But I'm looking at the sagginess. I mean, like if you don't have the a
Well, I think
strong.
that probably all evens out too. I don't know. Maybe we should
I
take
don't
up a
know.
collection, send you up.
Well, I offered to go to Mars when Elon was looking
Yeah,
for a runner,
yeah.
but I think we'll have to think about that. You wonder if it's like we're really struggling constantly to overcome gravity. Either exercise, lose weight, do this, do that. Because if you don't, if you let gravity take its course, boy, oh boy, it turns out to be a heavy weight to be dragging around all the time. So
Yeah. So
anyhow,
what if there were no gravity? Is that the question on the table
no,
here?
not if there wasn't a were no go. We obviously are bound to that,
Yes.
that physical presence. But I'm blaming it. I'm blaming it. I'm blaming it if I'm going to eat too much and have a oversized stomach, and all of a sudden it starts to droop down over top of the belt. That's gravity is assisting, but I guess I'm the blame. I'm the blame for that. So we won't blame gravity 100%.
No, I kind of like
But
gravity.
it takes its toll on us.
It takes its toll. But I mean, but if it weren't for gravity, I mean, there would be no Earth. I mean, well, by definition, one or the
not
other.
as we know, not as we know it anyhow.
Well, no, there would be. I mean,
if the water didn't go away, there'd still be fish.
If the water didn't go away, there'd still be fish.
So those folks.
Well,
that'd be two old fish instead of two old bucks.
Gravity is the warp in the space-time continuum, right? Think about it. So if there were no gravity, there would be no Earth.
Well, okay.
Okay.
I like my idea that
of course.
Instead of two old bucks, it'd be just two old fish talking now.
But if it were like the fish and you somehow managed to switch off gravity, I mean, the air and the water would all just float away. It would there would be nothing holding it together. And then we'd puff up like balloons, and then we'd explode, and then the Earth would explode. I mean, wouldn't be pretty.
Well, true, but
wouldn't be pretty.
I don't think I'll live to see that day when that happens. But anyhow, I'm blaming that for this picture that everybody looks and sees in the mirror. I mean, we're talking about some stuff, but there are people that are going to look in that mirror tomorrow morning. So you see what you see. Blame it on gravity and your eating habits.
Blame it on gravity or Dale.
Oh my!
Oh man!
On a lighter side.
On a lighter side. Speaking of other grave events in the news, did you see that SBF of FTX fame has been actually arrested now?
I saw that he was arrested. And I've been following that, thinking it would have a major influx, or not an influx, but a major change to the whole Bitcoin industry. But they're blaming him on being just a criminal. They're saying it was a big
it's fraud. It's fraud. Yeah, it's fraud. Yeah.
And he made the mistake of taking too much money and converting it into actual currency that he could buy, local things with. So
yeah.
That's probably what did him in. But they're still talking. I mean, I saw an article recently that they're still trying to regulate this, but more and more people are still mining these.
Well, it's still the wild and woolly West. Yeah, there are some attempts now to.
So he's just one fish that got caught.
Yeah, but I thought the funny thing is, he said he shouldn't go to jail. He should be released because he's a vegan. So I don't know.
Well, perhaps they can accommodate that menu in jail. I don't know.
That doesn't mean he's a vegetable, right?
I know.
He's still a person. He's a vegan though. I don't know.
Well, you and I, we make fun of this situation, but a lot of people
got burned.
Yeah, once you get into a system where you can make money, and a lot of people, it's like, hey, if I get into this now, I'll be able to rake in a bunch of money and I'll jump out before the bottom falls out or something like that. It's so tempting that people keep perpetuating it, and people keep buying into it, so they keep perpetuating it. So there you go.
So hey, so what's your latest on your buddy Elon? Has he replied yet to your letter?
No, I don't think he's even going to think about that anymore. I came up with a theory.
I think he's busy.
The days when he was fascinated with SpaceX or Tesla, I really think are over, because he hired people to manufacture cars, and they did a good job.
Yeah.
I mean, the SpaceX thing still marvels. I still marvel at that, but he never talked about that. Elon never got all excited that I can. I mean, he made a lot of social comments, but he didn't say, "Well, the way I'm going to build this particular, dashboard configuration." You know what I mean? He didn't.
Right.
He didn't act like it was his brain that was coming up with their little tricks and little things about this. He didn't say that he's going to improve the landing legs on his rocket.
He wasn't going to cure cancer by himself.
Yeah, he did never talk. He just was, hey, I'm happy that it goes. I own this business, or I made it, or whatever. But this Twitter thing, I think, is a giant ego trip for him, and because of the emotions attached to it and the kind of outrageousness that suits his personality, I think it's going to be an ongoing thing. I can't even imagine the lengths of stuff that he'll come up with. You know what I mean? He'll to block this guy, or let that guy talk, or this guy say this. I mean, there'll be some of the craziness already about the group that used to monitor content. I mean, the way he justifies all this stuff, and what is that boy that was watching his plane? A giant effort to prevent that from being tweeted, because obviously he felt that it affected him. And so this is going to be absolutely amusing. It could be ugly to watch, but anyhow, I'm not a Twitter follower. I'm just reading, I'm subjected to the news of those who are and tell me about it. So I think that's he's finally got himself into something that is bizarre enough that it'll keep him active.
Well, I think it's far enough away from his area of expertise that he's continuing to make a fool of himself in here. But in the end, Twitter is it's nothing. It's no big deal. It's most people don't use Twitter, so it's a playground for some people. We're on it, but we don't use it. So,
well, but that's my theory on that. So I don't have any questions for him. I probably wouldn't write to him now. I wouldn't have anything to ask him. I was only interested in the science. Yeah. So I probably won't talk too much about him after this. I mean, It's probably the last thing I have to say.
I'm not going to hold you to it, though, because he's always going to give us something new to laugh about. But say, speaking of outrageousness, you talked about the outrageousness of the whole thing. I think it might be time for Stump the Buck.
Oh.
Are you ready for one?
This is another one of them 3-minute questions you put together while we were talking. Okay. All right, here we go.
Pretty much. It didn't take 3 minutes this time, even. Okay. Here's hint number one. He's no Mickey Mantle.
Okay. No Mickey Mantle.
He's no Mickey Mantle. Okay.
And that was a baseball player. So
Mickey Mantle was a baseball player, right? Okay. Not enough clue, huh?
Well,
okay.
That's too broad a clue to see.
It's a start. Okay, here's another clue. $99.
Now that number sticks in my head here recently. I think I saw an advertisement on television about that. Give me the third clue, and I'll tell you what I think it is.
Absolutely not better than Lincoln or Washington.
Absolutely not better than Lincoln or Washington. Well, the 99 thing, $99 thing is this new offering of NFTs.
Oh man, you're getting hot now. You're getting fired up here. Come on, keep going, keep thinking.
Well, if that's the case, I know what that is. This is an interesting thing that a certain individual, whose name I must not mention.
Oh, okay.
Decided that. I mean, it's a. What I mean, why not? If people are willing to buy an NFT, which is basically a computer generated picture, right?
Right. Yeah.
And if you're willing to buy that for $99, then
the two old bucks have some of our own to sell.
Well, we tried that. We just didn't go online to do that.
Didn't go so well. Yeah.
Because we thought it was I don't know. I always felt it'd be like stovetop art or something. I thought it would be cool, but holy smokes. Anyhow, that's what I think it is. I think it's an ex-president who's selling NFTs.
That is correct. He's selling these digital collector cards. with his face pasted on various superheroes for
Mhm.
$99. Hey, $4,500 worth gets you dinner with this person who shall not be named. You got there. You definitely
Well, the
got there.
$99 gave it away because
That was a tip.
that stuck in my mind as being kind of interesting. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I got the impression that you can only buy one of that. So if it's one with him on a horse, you can only get that one, right?
I
So
doubt it. I
you mean they
doubt
would
it.
all be owning the same photo?
I would. I think
What
you all.
value would that have if you
Uh,
had they
well, what value would it have anyway? Come on.
But that means that, let's say if you have a million people that are your fans and they all want to buy one of these, you'd have to have a million different pictures of yourself to have it have that originality to be only one, right? That's what those NFTs are for.
Right, they're supposed to be one of a kind.
One of a kind.
Yeah, well,
That's an
you
interesting
have bragging
prospect.
rights to the individual, but if you're going to sell 10,000 of the same picture,
What value does it have? Yeah.
they're hardly NFTs. But I don't know. I haven't delved into it. When I get on, I'll get on his website under your name and if I could find out some more, like I always do.
Now, that is an interesting process. I never thought about that. That if you offer that openly, you you think you only could sell one of those. You know, if you're doing a Norman Rockwell, you could only sell one at Thanksgiving dinner. If you're selling them all the same photos for the same price, that basically would have no value at all. It'd be more like a donation. Maybe that's the thing, just a blanket donation.
Yes, it's donations. Yes.
Yeah, just donations. Call it what it is.
Call it what it is.
Well, let me ask you this, Dave. I'm not teased you over time because of our my thing about the healthcare system, but this had to do with the dental work. One time it goes back to the day where I was complaining about the cost of some dental work, and just as we were eating, you chipped a tooth. I said, "Man, it's like we got a curse." So you had an issue some time ago, and you said you were going to the dentist. How did that work out? Did you get yourself a brand new crown or something?
I'm part way there. I did get one, and I went into the dentist, and he said, I think we might have talked about this on the previous show, but so this would be an update.
I don't remember if we did.
But I had the one cracked crown on the upper part. Now that's already been replaced now. Okay, then I had a cracked crown on the bottom rear, bottom back, and it actually impacted the tooth next to it as well. So I have what he said. Well, he said one option is get all three of them crowned. He said so I got the top one crowned, and that's fine. But
when you say you cracked, they were porcelain crowns or something?
Yeah. It wasn't the.
You didn't get the gold tooth or nothing like that?
I didn't get the gold tooth. No, not gold finger.
I did in 1967. I think I had it. I think it might be a composite gold tooth. That one is still in there, but every time I hold my breath about that one staying there after so many years. So anyhow, I
got one down, one down and two to go. But here's the fun thing about going to the dentist. So the technician is prepping me for this whole thing. She's taking these digital photos with a CAD CAM kind of system. It's fascinating what they can do now. And so I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And she says, "Oh, I just went to the big city for the weekend, celebrated my 30th birthday." I thought, man, 30. How young is that? So I said, "Oh, what'd you do?" She said, "Oh, we did a lot of dancing." I said, "Dancing?" I said, "What kind of dancing did you do?" And she said, "Oh, house music." Do you know what house music is?
House music?
House music, yeah. I thought, what the heck is house music? I have no idea what house music is. And I said, well, what's it like? And she says, oh, you like, you move your head around and you twitch your hips and you flail your arms once. What the heck is that all about? So of course I had asked Mr. Google about this afterwards.
Of course.
And by the way, and Dennis came in and he was ready to do his thing. And this was actually right before Thanksgiving or right after Thanksgiving. It was right after Thanksgiving. And I said, oh, you had a bunch of people over? He said, yeah. I said, you guys do any house dancing? He looked at me, house dancing?
I don't
And
think
he
I've ever heard that
and he
term.
looked at her and he says, "Oh, you mean house music?"
Oh,
And
house.
she says, "Yeah." I said, "Damn." So I googled it when I went home. So it turns out house music has been around since the 70s. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and it's basically this boom 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 electronic music.
Oh,
Okay, and it's apparently started in 1977 in a club in Chicago. And a lot of it was electronic, and then it's been then the disco thing was woven into it, drum machines, synthesizers, and everything. And then it eventually, kind of evolved into other forms while
so,
maintaining
so,
the
so
same beat.
there's still places where there's a big enough dance floor to have that kind of a.
I guess, but it is, and and of course, then I had to Google the videos of house dancing, and there's all kind of subcultures within house dancing, and there was shuffle dancing, which was kind of my favorite, shuffle dancing. So look up shuffle dancing, everybody.
You
And
know, I'm going to have to admit that I'm really out of the loop now when it comes to that stuff. I didn't even think there
well,
was
you're
a.
spending all your time in the mirror, staring at the mirror.
No, but
Uh,
those places, I mean, I remember when I was much, much younger, there were places that had actually dance floors,
mm-hmm.
or you could expect to find form of live music or something. I do remember doing that, but I didn't know, even if they have a DJ now, I didn't know there was places big enough to do that where you would go and sit at a table and dance. Huh.
Yeah,
So house dancing. So
house
so this
dancing.
this was the girl that she was prepping you, and then the dentist came in. So
Mm-hmm.
back to
Yeah,
the teeth thing.
yeah.
So you have the one that was that your tongue had found to be out of kilter back there. You got that in resolve. So now all the surfaces are there, but they just recommended you add this other $3,000
Well,
treatment.
not to get too technical, but the upper one that he replaced, actually, I thought that one was really just buff around that because it was the side, it was the inside.
Ah,
And he said, well, actually, it is, it's spalled completely off, and that is exposing your dentin, which
ah,
is subject to wear and fast wear, and getting germs and all that sort of thing, getting
mm.
infections. So I thought that one would be nothing, but he said no. He says that's really the critical one. And he said you can do nothing. We can do nothing on all the teeth. It's your call. It's your money.
Oh yeah, they always say that.
Yeah.
If
So
you don't want to do that, that's okay. Knowing full well they're laughing to you themselves when
he
you
knows what
leave.
you're going to
He'll be
say.
back. Yeah,
Yeah.
he'll be back.
Yeah.
Charge them 10% more.
Yeah.
So you had a nice visit with the dentist, and I'm sure that on your last business you'll probably see a brand new Mercedes out where it
Right.
says "Doctors Parking Only."
Yeah. I told him. I said, look. I said, why don't I just forward all my social security checks to you?
Yeah,
You're getting it all anyway. Jeez.
say, hey doc, how many kids you got in college, and which one can I cover? No, I
Yeah.
really think
But he's a good dentist, though. He's really a good dentist.
if you're
But
happy with him, then you don't mind the pinch. See, that's what I'm
yeah.
convinced. That's what I discovered. If you like with the demeanor and all the other stuff that goes with these guys, then somehow that when you reach for your wallet, you don't feel so bad. You know what I mean? It's like, you know,
Yep. Yep.
you know exactly what I
I know.
mean.
Yeah. He's
It's still a lot of money, even
it's
if
a
you
lot
have
of money, but
insurances. And,
he's
yeah.
competent. His whole staff is competent. These women that work for him are all pretty good.
Anyhow, I'm
So,
glad you got
so that's
done.
my dentist story. Yeah, one more chapter when I do the other teeth. But yeah, that's not. Yeah.
So we got to encourage more people to write in, Dave, and tell us all their stories. We want to hear stories.
The other thing I would ask all the people is to send our podcast to your friends. We're looking for some new voices out there. We're looking for some more listeners. So you can either you forward them the website, or tell them how to go on their iPhone or their G phone or their
Well,
whatever.
what should we give them some kind of like when you send us, just remember if you're having trouble sleeping, then you'll want to listen to the Melatonin Brothers.
Melatonin Brothers.
And if you want a few chuckles, you want to listen to Two Old Bucks, and this is how you can do that. And yeah, go ahead and send that information over to your friends. with that with the
Yeah.
sort of introductory, so they know that what they're in for, you know
what
what I
they're
mean?
in for, yeah.
And it's buckstoold@gmail.com.
bucks2old@gmail.com. That'll be at the bottom of the liner notes, as always.
Mm-hmm.
So I look forward to hearing from some more people, getting that listenership up into the millions here.
Hey, do we have a chance for one book review? Anything on there?
Do you have a book?
I don't. Last one I read was Galapagos, and I told you I struggled with finding anything. It just didn't keep my attention. Then I went through this, other things and holidays and illness. I mean, so I just haven't been able to read anything. So,
well, I did. I've read a couple books since the last time. I could knock out a quick one here.
give me one of your recommendations.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure it's a recommendation. The book is called Brain Damage.
Oh,
and
you're directing that to me.
It's all fit. This is all part of the same thing. It's Brain Damage by Frida McFadden, and it's a fictional story, obviously, about a Dr. Charlene McKenna. She's a dermatologist. Okay, she's been shot in the head. Okay, hence the title, Brain Damage, but she survives. So the book is about her going through this whole rehab process and the physical issues and the mental issues and the amnesia, and slowly trying to regain her memory as she tries to figure out. She doesn't remember any details of her attack, just flashes here and there.
And you liked it? You liked it? You enjoyed it?
I thought the woman who wrote the book is an actual, she's an MD specializing in brain injuries.
So
okay. Everything that all the stuff about the whole rehabilitation process, I had to be right on the money, and it was really opened my eyes up to how long or how fast some of this stuff happens, and the different setbacks, and just the different ways that the brain can be just scrambled by this kind of thing. So I thought that was interesting. The actual mystery, like who done it, who shot her. She's trying to figure this out. Hope her memory comes back so she can. She's concerned whoever's going to.
How many stars? How many stars you give?
2 stars. I think it's just not as sad as I think the character, the people are just looked at it. They seem like caricatures in my view. But anyway, if you want to learn more about that
kind of an injury,
brain rehabilitation, it's a good book to read. I mean, the book got good stars. I'm just I don't know, book snob, I guess. I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna let that one go. I'm gonna probably let that one go. But anyhow, like I said, I'll have to come up with something. Maybe I can share that with a list or something in my realm. But very interesting. Hey, listen, you watching the clock there?
We're getting close. We got about a minute and a half left here on our self-imposed time limit. So.
Well, then let me say this. Let me say that it's always fun. First of all, it's always fun talking to you, and then I have to remind myself that others are listening, and we hope they enjoy the banter, and certainly thank them for tuning in and listening to us. And so let me say, this is Old Buck Dell saying thank you very much, and I'll talk to you again.
That's a deal. This is Old Buck Dave right behind him. Send your notes in. We love those letters from afar, folks, and tell your friends about us. We're looking for some more help here on this journey. All right, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.